boys from the other side, they call me every time. Thokozani, hello everyone, and welcome to the one-on-one sessions with Gogo Musore, and I'm your host, Gogo M, giving you tips on everything spirituality. So if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe to it. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post anything new, and leave a comment on the comment section so we can all have a one-on-one dialogue based on everything that we are talking about. And to everyone who's following my channel, subscribing, liking, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the love and the support and the positive feedback. It's so beautiful. It's very beautiful, and I truly appreciate it. And for everyone who wishes to contact me, the number is 0655 051216. This is only for consultation bookings only. Okay, thank you. Moving on with that. So today we're gonna be talking about how your past actually affects your spiritual growth. Okay, the reason why I actually chose this topic for today is because I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about this. I feel like this thing is hardly discussed by healers or by people actually pursuing themselves spiritually, regardless of whether you're a healer or not a healer. It's a very important thing to actually sit down and talk about, and I feel like we haven't really been interacting on it much. So yeah, that is why I chose this. And also, you know what, like, your past can actually, as much as it affects you emotionally and mentally, it can also still affect you even physically. It can also still affect you spiritually. It can block you, affect you from actually progressing, succeeding in life, being the person that you're supposed to be, reaching the peaks that you're supposed to reach at the end of the day. So anyways, as usual, I have my notes down here so I don't forget anything that I'm supposed to talk about. And here it goes. So the first thing here is that your past can easily create a negative outlook on the world around you. Okay, so you find already, you may have experienced something very traumatic. You may have been a traumatic experience, or you have been in an abusive relationship, an abusive childhood. It could be physical, emotional, mental abuse, whatever kind of abuse that is. You find out at the end of the day, what that does to you is that it creates a negative view of the world. It affects how you look at the world, how you look at everyone around you. It makes you insecure. You are not trusting. You are not welcoming to people. You feel as though everyone is out to get you at all times. And I'm not saying you should go ahead and trust everybody you encounter in the world, but at least have a level of trust for the people that are worthy of it. But being having had some negative experiences actually makes you feel as though that no one is safe. Nothing is safe. It affects how you look at everyone and also how you look at your world. You just look at the world as this really dark, awful place that everyone gets hurt at the end of the day. And that is not it. That is not how the world is. Yes, there are some really bad things that are happening, but there are also some really wonderful things. There are bad people, but there are also some really amazing people out there, and you are limiting your chances to actually explore the world for what it really is and explore the beautiful energies out there. You're constantly moving around. You're harboring so much negative energy around you because of the anger, the resentment, the bitterness. It affects you from actually being able to actually move on in your life. Because understand what, a lot of bad things happening in our life, yes, they are not nice. No one wants bad things to happen to them, but there's also a level of growth. There are also certain things that you get to learn from all those things happening in your life. You get to learn, or maybe this wasn't the path for me. I should have chosen the other path. You get to learn, or okay, maybe these are not the kind of people I should be around. I should be around this kind of people. Well, Lord, yes, there are traumatic experiences. There are a lot of bad things that are happening, but you should be actually allowing yourself to learn from everything that happens in your life and being optimistic as to the beautiful things that are happening. Because remember, you manifest everything that you think. So if you're constantly thinking, oh, this world is awful, everyone is just mean, we're all gonna die anyway, you cannot attract any positive energy, not even if you try. I also told that it affects your interactions with people. And with that, I feel like, having talked about it, people harboring so much anger in them, so much resentment, it can affect how you interact with people. You find yourself always being so angry. You find yourself not being You don't need to be completely open to everyone you encounter. That's not it. But you just become so petty. You become so bitter. You find yourself just, you know, you find yourself so negative around everyone around you. Just argue with everyone over the tiniest things, and it is not okay. It's not good for your growth. Something I always tell most of my clients is, when you're always fighting with people, you are attracting negative energy. You are giving power to the negative entities around you. And you're taking power from yourself. You're disconnecting yourself with the spiritual realm. And the more you continue to do this, the more you become disconnected, the more you become lost, the more you are unable to grow spiritually. Okay? Number 2, I talked about the past has a negative effect. Okay, outlook on yourself as a person. Eh? So what I mean by this is, you find out, like we talked about traumatic experiences, you find out you've had an emotional, like you've experienced emotional abuse a lot as a child, or physical abuse, or whatever kind of abuse, and that whole thing impacts the way that you look at yourself as a person. You find that you don't find yourself smart enough or pretty enough, or you feel like you will not make it because somebody said, or you will not amount to anything. A teacher in school once said to you, you're not going to be anything when you grow up. You know, those kind of negative comments that we get in the world that actually sticks with you as a person as you're growing up, and you're constantly reminding yourself of all those things. And in turn, you actually believe those things. You believe that you will never amount to anything. You believe that you are nothing. You amount to nothing. It affects how you look at yourself as a person. It affects how you move as a person, the decisions that you make as a person, the way that you progress as a person. It affects it, né? And also another thing that I pointed out is that it can also be caused by the treatment of the outside world. Yes, I mentioned that, but it produces you to actually doubt yourself and your capabilities. You end up doubting your gift. As a healer, you doubt your gift. You doubt your ability to help people. You doubt your ability to actually heal people. You doubt your ability to actually see what a person's problem is and give them a solution. And that is something that you shouldn't do as a person, regardless of whether you're a healer or not. Insecurities they are draining. They will destroy you from the inside out, whether it is that you notice it or not. They will change everything in your life and have all the beautiful things, the positive things that have been written for your future become erased, all because you have so much insecurities and you're always looking at the bad side of everything, and you're lacking optimism. You're lacking the self-belief, the self-love, the self-esteem that you need. And everyone who watches my channel knows that I preach self-love a lot, because I feel like the more you actually appreciate yourself, regardless of whatever happened to you, the more you notice that, you know what, I am not my past, and I am not defined by my past, or whatever it is that was told to me, or whatever it is that was like people said what I was back then. That is not me. I redefine myself however it is that I want to. So self-love is actually the best love that you could ever have in your life. And being able to actually manifest it in yourself will actually help you grow spiritually. Letting go of your past and all the things that you were taught to believe that you were growing up will help you ascend, okay, in life. I help you ascend in the spiritual world, in the spiritual realm. It will help you connect with your inner self, your intuition, because that is the main thing when you're actually undergoing a spiritual journey. You're trying to connect with your inner self. Okay. Number 3, I said it creates a barrier between your physical body and your inner self. It's funny, we're just saying about the inner self right now. Okay, so by this one, I just mean you're constantly beating yourself up. You're constantly looking at the negative side of everything. You're looking at your mistakes as a person. You're looking at the mistakes that were done to you as a person. You're looking at all the bad things that happened to you that you don't deserve. And yes, I understand that you don't deserve that. You were a good person. You did not deserve that. Or maybe you're a person with history. More, you've done a lot of bad things in your life. And yes, that history can follow you, but you can still change and be a better person. You can still change everything. Instead of you just beating yourself up over it on some, I messed up, I was an awful person, I could have been better. Look at it and be like, okay, I messed up, I was a bad person, but I'm going to be better. I'm going to be a better version of myself. I've learned from my mistakes and now I'm ready to move on. Okay, that is how you need to look at everything. Okay, and in terms of what was done to you, man, everyone who hurts you did not deserve you, and they came as a lesson in your life. So you don't waste your energy going back to all those negative things that were done to you. You don't waste your energy crying over people that hurt you. You don't do that. You're killing yourself. You just shake it off. Be like, okay, you know what? This happened to me, but you know what? This will not define me. This will not affect me. I am going to move on. I'm going to be the best version of myself for myself, not for them. It's not for anybody else. It's for yourself. Okay. Yeah, so I spent so much talking about that. I actually went off trail a bit, né? So I was saying, where you always looking at all the things that were done to you that you did not deserve, and you fail to look at the lessons that you learned from it. And you find out, like, okay, a lot of things that happen to people, to us, speaking as if I'm not a person too, a lot of things that happen to us in life, as bad as they are, they actually help you. They're there to help you grow as a person, help you grow your inner self in a way. Because you're supposed to learn from that. You're supposed to look at everything and be like, okay, this happened, but I learned this. Now I'm gonna be able to connect better with myself. But that is something that most of us don't look at when we are hurt or angry or when we are reminiscing on the past. So I'm here to remind you that, you know what? Look at your past. And as much as you might feel like there isn't really much good from it, be on some, I'm willing to learn something from this. I'm willing not to trust everybody from this. I'm willing not to let everyone into my life because they're going to be too toxic for me and I'll be unable to grow spiritually. Tell that to yourself and move onwards. Do not keep yourself stuck in one place. Ne? And also I pointed out that your intuition becomes weak. Because like, guys, the intuition will never be strong in a body that's always complaining. It will never like do what it's supposed to do if you're always overthinking about the negative things. Yes, now I'm not going to say what I don't overthink. I overthink a lot. I overthink about everything, actually. That's just the person that I am. And it's okay. But do not let that consume you. Do not let that define you. Do not let that cloud your judgment. Do not let that put a negative shadow, a dark shadow in your life. Because sometimes you feel like you're blocked in life. You feel like there are people after you. You feel like there are people constantly blocking you. But you find that it's just you. It's just you blocking yourself constantly. It's just you creating so much negativity in your life that nothing good ever happens and you just don't notice it. Okay, so your intuition becomes very, very weak in a body that's always complaining, in a body that's always crying over things that happened in the past. Cry then and let it go. Move on. Okay, just so your intuition you're able to feed your intuition the right way. Because if you feed your intuition negatively, it will act negatively. Negative input results to negative outcome. Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, feed your intuition the right way. And number 4, I say it disables you from healing as a person, hence it prevents you from healing others. Okay, so this one, I know it sounds so much as though it is directed to healers, but it's not. We all play a part in the healing of others. You can bump into a person crying over something that happened to them today and you sit them down and you talk to them about it. You are healing that person. You are actually comforting that person. The smallest thing that you could say can actually change another person's life extremely. That's something that I know. Even before I was a healer, I always knew, well, you know what? Just say the right thing to the right people at the right time and you could save a life. You know that. So when you're stuck in a state whereby you are not healing as a person, you are hurting as a person, you find you're unable to actually heal. And when you can't heal, you cannot heal others. And as for healers, as for people undergoing the journey of being healers, heal from your past so you can be able to heal others. Heal from what happened in your past so you can be able to do what it is that you're here for. Okay? Don't just be that amazing sangoma who looks beautiful, but inside you're dying. Okay, if you need a friend, find someone to talk to about your problems. Find someone who understand and listen and help you in the path of healing. But not all the time you need to go and look for somebody else. That's something I was talking to a friend about a few days ago. Sometimes you need to save yourself. Sometimes you're not going to get help from anybody else. You need to sit down, do a lot of self-introspection, and find healing on your own. Okay? But you don't always have to do it alone. That's your choice. But what I'm saying is, find healing so you can be able to help others, to heal others. Because there's no way in heaven that you will be able to help someone get into a better place when you're in a dark place yourself. It's impossible. Regardless of how much you're trying, it's completely impossible. Even with herbs, if somebody comes to you and this person is sick, but when you're hurting, okay, you are hurting so badly, man, there's no way what you're gonna give to this person is gonna help them. Heal so you can help others. Heal so you can fulfill your life purpose. Okay. Whew. Number 5, it makes you to constantly live in limbo, spiritual limbo. Okay, that's something I made up. But I think I made it up. Anyways, let's move on. What I mean when I say, well, you're living in spiritual limbo is like you're living in a state where you're just on standstill spiritually. You are not progressing. You are not moving. Because, like, honestly speaking, I feel like we hear this a lot of times, but I'm going to emphasize it. When you're busy looking at your past, you will not be able to look at your future. You will not be able to see your future. You will not be able to plan your future. Okay? So when you're busy reminiscing on your past, you're constantly keeping your spiritual growth at bay. You're constantly keeping your spiritual self from actually transcending, because there are levels to these things. And when you're supposed to be moving upwards, you are just dragging yourself down. And that is something that you do not want to do. Whether it is that you're a healer or not a healer, it doesn't matter. Your spiritual sanity is what's important to you. And it's something that you should make sure that you pay attention to regardless. Okay? So do not keep yourself stuck like in the same place. Do not keep your spiritual self stuck, unable to progress because of the things of the past. Okay? And yeah, that was actually the last thing. And from here onwards, I'm going to talk about what I feel like we need to do as people to actually not let our past actually affect us that much. And one thing I want to point out with this is that I don't know it all. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know how it has hurt you. I don't know how it has affected you. Ne? But I am going to look at it from my experience and the experience of the people that I've encountered in my life. And I'm going to just say like 6 things that I feel like can actually help you grow as a person spiritually, can actually allow you to actually let go of your past and just move forward and be the version of yourself that you're actually looking for. Okay. And the first thing is forgiveness. Okay. When I'm saying forgiveness, I'm not saying forget. Okay. That is something that I want to make clear. Do not forget, but forgive. Okay. The reason why I'm saying do not forget is so you don't find yourself in that very same situation again. So you don't become naive to what happened to you in your past. Allow yourself to forgive the people that hurt you, but remember everything that they did so nothing like that ever happens to you again. So you can be able to protect yourself the right way. So you can be able to learn what it is that you had to learn from that very same experience. Forgive the people that hurt you. Okay? Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being naive, for being too trusting, for being too open to the right people. Forgive yourself for mixing yourself with the wrong crowd. Forgive yourself for actually doing a lot of bad things to other people. Understand that you make mistakes as a person. You are not perfect. Like guys, like yeah, kihila, like if I reach everything, I'm good and everything, but I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. I still mess up. I am still a human being, and that is something you need to remember. So forgive yourself for all the things that you may have done to yourself or to others, so you can be able to move on. Okay? Just forgive the world and forgive yourself. Do not forget, but just allow yourself to forgive. It's not going to be easy, okay? Because what I'm saying is like it's so easy, but it's not. It's gonna take time to actually do that, but once you actually invest your time in actually looking at everything and allowing yourself to say, you know what, this happened to me, I did not deserve this, or I did this, the people did not deserve this, I am sorry, I forgive myself, or I forgive them for doing that to me. Bruh, just saying that to yourself, ne? And constantly saying it to yourself, it goes a long way. You manifest forgiveness, okay? You manifest forgiveness for others and for yourself, okay? Number 2, acknowledge your self-worth. Back to the self-love thing, okay? Because, man, you can forgive all you want, but if you do not learn to love yourself and learn to appreciate yourself, have that self-worth, notice what, like, that's again, I am that awesome. Okay, don't be cocky. I'm not saying be cocky. All I'm saying is understand, you know what, when you do something great, pat yourself on the back and say, you did right, girl, or you did right, boy. Pat yourself in the back and say, you achieved something. No matter how tiny it is, just acknowledge your self-worth. Acknowledge all the beautiful things that you do. Acknowledge the tiniest things that might not mean anything to anyone but means a lot to you. Acknowledge those things. By doing that, you are feeding your soul, you're feeding your spirit the right kind of energy. You're feeding your intuition the right kind of way, okay? And you will be so much happier, okay? And you can't live in a world where below you're not happy. That would suck a lot, ne? So number 2, live life focus on what makes you happy. It links to that one. Yeah, because, man, a lot of things happen. But regardless of what happens, try to look at the happy version. Like, have something. Have that one thing that makes you happy, like, all times. Because I'm actually going to give an example, Kanane. You could find out someone comes and does something or says something to me, and I lose my mind. Because I get really angry quickly. That's just the person that I am. And when I act, I will act. But other times, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's not worth it. But I might find out someone like offends me to a point whereby I'm extremely angry. But the one thing I always remind myself to do is, you know what? Switch that thing off. Switch that off. Focus on what makes you happy. Focus on what you're living for. Negativity is going to be everywhere. People are bitter out there. People just want to ruin your day for their own happiness. And it's okay. It's the world that we live in. But just have that one thing that makes you happy. It could be your child. It could be your beautiful daughter, your handsome son. It could be your job or your wife or your husband or your girlfriend. Whatever that thing is, allow that thing to be your anchor. Okay? Allow that thing to be your anchor. To hold you down whenever you feel like your world is falling apart, and just remind yourself that you are going to be okay and you have so much to be thankful for. Okay? Just do that constantly. And by doing that, you're feeding your intuition, you're feeding your soul, you're allowing yourself to heal from everything that happened to you, and you're allowing yourself to move forward for the better, to be a better person, work on being a better person. Okay? Number 4, acceptance. This is where, Lori, you accept. You accept that things happened. The past happened. You can't change it. You cannot erase it. It's there. It's happened. And you're not the only person who's been through traumatic experiences or whatever experience that is that you are busy holding on to that is hurting you. But understand that, accept that it happened. I can't change it, but I should move on. Because that is the mindset that we should all take. We can't change everything that happens in our lives. As much as we try, it's impossible. So all you need to do is just accept, you know what, this happened. Stop hurting yourself even more by reminding yourself of all those things. Accept that I didn't deserve it, but I still got it. Accept that other people didn't deserve it, but I still gave it to them. Accept that this world can be cruel. Accept that people can be cruel. But remember, in your journey of accepting, remember that there's some really amazing people out there, and there's some really beautiful experiences waiting out there for you to get. Okay? And number 5, allow yourself to heal. Okay, so this just goes on with forgiveness, acknowledging your self-worth, living life, focus on what makes you happy, and accepting. By doing all those things, you're going to allow yourself to heal. But Lorna, it needs to be something that you keep in your mind at all times. Or you know what? I am healing. I am healing every single day from whatever it is that has happened to me. And whatever it is that is going to happen to me, I will heal from that too. Allow yourself, open your heart enough to actually allow yourself to heal. Even if that means going out to look for mental health or whatever works for you at that moment, do it if it will help you heal. But make sure that it's something that will not hurt you even more in your near future. Okay? In your process of allowing yourself to heal, allow yourself to heal by doing the right things for yourself and for the people around you, for the people that you care about, for the people that have been there. Because then we all have crappy people in our lives, but we all have some good people. We need to remember them whenever we make decisions and do things. But at the end of the day, we're talking about you, and all I'm saying is that just allow yourself to heal. Okay? Allow healing in your life. And the last thing, don't live your life trying to live up to everyone else's expectations. Okay? Because you grow up and you're told you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, and you live your life on some, I have to be that. I have to be everything that I'm supposed to be. That is exhausting. That is extremely exhausting. You cannot please everyone in this world, so stop trying. Your soul will never be fed if you're constantly looking at what everyone else thinks and says. Okay? You are not going to feed yourself the energy that you need if you're constantly beating yourself over what everyone else expects from you. Everyone should expect what they expect from themselves, not anyone else. And if anyone spends their time expecting things from you and you're letting that hurt you, you should stop, because it's not worth it. Put expectations for yourself. And if you don't manage to actually live up to those expectations, accept it. Okay, I didn't live up to it, but I can definitely do something else. I can be better. But do not let other people's expectations of you hurt you or affect you personally, emotionally, or spiritually. Don't do that. Okay? Not in this lifetime or the next lifetime when you get reincarnated. Just don't do that to yourself. Allow yourself to be happy. Because then as a person, I feel like there are certain expectations for me, but yeah, they're whatever. Because at the end of the day, my happiness, my well-being, my peace is what matters. And I know that sounds selfish, but you need to be selfish at some point. Okay, you need to care about yourself sometimes. You need to put yourself first sometimes, so you can be able to grow spiritually, grow emotionally, grow mentally, so you can grow as a person, become the best version of yourself, become the version of yourself that you actually want to be. Okay? Yeah, I think I've said a mouthful. I've been tired of speaking. Yeah, so anyways, that is it. Ne? I really hope that this sticks to everybody who's listening. I really hope that this helps somebody out there heal from whatever it is that they're hurting from. And I really hope, my words just don't go in vain. Like they don't just go in thin air and disappear. I hope you're listening, and yeah, just try to heal so you can be able to grow spiritually. Okay? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for the support and the love and the positive feedback. Do leave your comments down there. I'll be more than happy to read your comments. And for those of you who haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, please do that. Anyways, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day, afternoon or evening, depending on what time you're watching this. Have a great time. Thokozani.